Hello, welcome to this update for the U.S. and Canada. So let's discuss the severe weather in the U.S. and parts of Canada. So first, with the remnants of tropical depression Francine, is still a tropical depression there, affecting many parts of Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, and those areas. And let's see here. So here you can see the rest of the moisture associated with it. And there is, but we have those storms today that will pose a tornado threat near this system. So we will talk about that in a second. So let's see what they still have. So that's the track. It will just continue going north and die as a tropical depression. They had tropical storm warnings earlier, but they expired already. So let's see. Elevated water levels and high surf along portions of Louisiana and Mississippi coasts should subside today. Until this occurs, residents in affected areas should continue to follow advice given by local officials. Francine will continue to bring heavy rain and the risk of flash and urban flooding along river flooding, portions of the lower Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley, and southeast. Considerable flash and urban flooding possible tonight, portions of Alabama today and tonight, and into the Florida Panhandle, expanding to Georgia and Middle Tennessee by Friday. So be careful there. They still have some rainfall expectations in parts of Alabama. They even have like a spot or two with 8 to 12 inches in that orange, dark orange. So be careful. There can still be some flooding, and there's still a moderate risk of flooding today in Alabama, in Birmingham, and other areas, big areas there. So please be careful. Stay tuned with the updates and everything. So I'll show you more the rainfall in a second. Let's see. Here the winds may landfall as a category 2 at last minute yesterday, so it was a cat 2. But there was some crazy images from inside the hurricane. They are in the community posts. So let's see. So here with the tornado threat, as you can see, they have the discussion, and all that yellow is dry air and the green and blue is like moisture. So as that dry air filters in behind the storm, it will cause the instability to rise there, parts of Alabama, Mississippi, and even Florida. That red area is a tornado watch, right? So be aware in those areas this afternoon. Still a big tornado potential. As you can see in the HUR, it shows it moving further north, a lot of rain through Alabama, especially Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas, a lot of rain. But as you can see, those storms there in Alabama later today in Florida, those ones will be right next to that dry air and instability, and will pose the tornado threat there. Especially like shows also through the Florida Panhandle and more areas. But those storms there along the dry air in Alabama plus the wind shear will have the greatest potential for some tornadoes and severe stuff. So let's see, there's the slight risk there in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and the marginal risk, and tornado threat is 5% there. So 5% chance of a tornado there and 2%. So definitely keep up with the warnings today and everything. So a few tornadoes are possible today, mainly in the morning and afternoon from the Florida Panhandle and north central Alabama. So be aware there. And let's see if there's anything else associated with this storm. So in terms of rainfall, still shows possibly today some 4 inches, 4.5 inches in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi especially, and even the northern Florida there could get a lot. So be aware there, be careful. Some flooding spots. And tomorrow still the rain moves further east, still more in Tennessee and Alabama, parts of Georgia and Florida, even the Carolinas. Day 3 still some rain in the southeast because of the stalled frontal boundary. Day 4, Sunday, still some rain there, still that front in the Carolinas. Day 5, still some rain there. That potential system near North Carolina. Day 6, still some rain there for Tuesday. Day 7, still a little bit of rain there. So days 1 through 7 shows like in Alabama close to 7 inches of all the days 1 through 7, and a lot near North Carolina because of that potential system too. So be careful there. Excessive rainfall, I showed you before, is a moderate there, and a slight from southernmost Missouri to Florida, and a marginal. Tomorrow still a slight there. In from Kentucky to Georgia, so still might be some flooding. Day 3 still a slight in Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama. Day 4 Sunday still some marginals there. Day 5 still another marginal in North Carolina there. So let's see here. As you can see in the GFS, it shows the system there, Francine, then it goes there, and then we have like that frontal boundary, some moisture building there around the southeast. So here in the zeros, let's see, it shows Francine there, it dissipates, and then you just see like those that the rainfall there and those isobars. The easterly winds might increase there, bringing more moisture this weekend towards like North Carolina, South Carolina, and those areas might increase the winds, especially in the Appalachians, maybe some gusty winds. So, but then around Monday, that system starts forming. The GFS even takes like a tropical storm into North Carolina there, and then dissipates, but still some rain lingering there left. The GFS is even doing some crazy tropical stuff later around the Bahamas, but we'll check them more in the tropical update. So let's see. So be aware there, but we still don't know if that system will form there. There's some likelihood that it will, but it might not form. But there'll be some rain and wind in the Carolinas and Virginia because of this. So now the European shows there Francine and the frontal boundary there, and then the moisture there and those isobars increase like the winds there and bring more rain to South Carolina and North Carolina throughout this week, and lots of showers and storms passing through there. And then but the European doesn't have anything developing there, just moisture, more moisture. This is like Monday, the time that it should form. It just takes a bunch of rain into South Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina, but the European doesn't have anything else forming. But you never know. But just be aware there that rain, and especially Monday, as that potential system tries to form there. We'll take a look at some more probabilities in the tropical update later. So let's see. Here's some probably some wind and stuff. So it shows like here. So it shows this the European model. Each model has a different, but there's still some very gusty winds today, parts of Mississippi, and here miles per hour. These are the wind gusts, so these aren't the sustained winds at all times, just like the wind gusts. The wind might be gusting to this in some specific spots, but normally the winds are like lower than it's showing here, but it could gust upwards of 52 miles per hour in those spots. But it shows like still today some very gusty winds from Mississippi, Alabama, because of the rest of tropical depression Francine. Then it keeps going there. Tennessee should get some more gusty winds tonight into tomorrow, and then you see like in the Appalachians some occasional gusty winds as well. Georgia there too, and Tennessee. This is Friday, and then Friday afternoon start getting those easterly winds there in the Carolinas, bringing more rain, as you can see here, the showers and everything. So let's go back there, and then this like by Friday afternoon, more stronger gusts in the Appalachians there, in somewhere like Friday morning, afternoon. So especially further south, still showing like some gusty winds even in Tennessee. So be aware in the Appalachians there. And then the GFS doesn't have nearly as much, but the HER is more high resolution. It does show like first Thursday today shows the gusty winds even all the way into Arkansas and Tennessee, and then let's see, still alright in the Appalachians, some gusty winds in Alabama, but this keeps going. Tonight might get stronger in Georgia, shows parts of northern Georgia there, some gusty winds in Tennessee, but like tomorrow afternoon starts showing some spots of the Appalachians, some gusty winds, so be aware they're further north too into Georgia too, so be aware. And let's see some different models for the rainfall. So it still shows like here the rain today. This is the European model, so this is a different view here. It doesn't usually show up this color. That's nice. So let's see in inches. It does show like in Georgia like some 8 inches next 2 days, like until Sunday some 12 inches. So the European is really doing some crazy stuff. Some 14 inches in Georgia, like 3 inches in Tennessee, some other areas, but I don't know if this is right because it's showing a weird way. But the GFS is like much less, like 3 inches, Georgia some 2 inches and stuff. And the HER, you can barely see the HER because it's like more high resolution. So here, let's see. It only goes out until Saturday, so it shows like most in Alabama, like some 9 inches, upwards of 10 inches in Alabama there. So be aware, definitely some flooding possible near Alabama, some heavy rain near Arkansas, then Tennessee as well, and even some scared storms in Florida. As you can see here, this is the HER, shows the storms with Francine today, especially in Alabama, that tornado threat in Florida with the dry air. And then it shows the more storms through Florida, especially Friday afternoon. More storms there through Florida, more in Georgia and Alabama still. A low-end tornado threat tomorrow, Friday there through Georgia and Alabama. Still on Saturday shows more storms in Florida there. So be aware. And starting like Friday, some more showers and storms in the Carolinas by Friday because of those winds and everything. So be aware there. And now let's see here. So in the rest of the country, there's still that slight risk there in Montana, North Dakota, even to Wyoming. So be aware there. Tornado threats actually 2% there in Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming. So be aware. There can be a tornado, a slight chance of a tornado there. Wind 15% hatched, so some hurricane force winds possible with those storms, and hail too. So be careful those winds. And now hail is just 15.5%, so be careful today there. Shows scare large hail and severe gusts. Some gusts might be significant are expected across eastern Montana vicinity during the afternoon to early evening, so be aware there. And as I was saying, tomorrow there's still a marginal risk for Florida, Georgia, parts of Alabama and Tennessee, mainly a tornado threat, 2% there. So be aware, tomorrow still some instability there, might pose a tornado threat. Wind 5% wind as well with those storms, and hail nothing. So be aware. A couple brief tornadoes locally damaging gusts are possible across parts of the southeast on Friday morning to Friday afternoon. So be careful there. And later, day 3 still doesn't show anything, just some general storms in the south, kind of in the north and the southeast especially. So now, let's see, as I showed you the HER tomorrow as well. So now, the excessive rainfall for the other areas, there's a slight risk Thursday today, Montana and a marginal in Idaho, so be aware there. The heavy rain. Tomorrow still a slight in Florida there, and not Florida, like Georgia, Tennessee and Kentucky, like I showed you before. Day 3 still a slight there, like I showed you. But there's the other marginal I didn't show you in Arizona there by day 3. This is Saturday, maybe because of some moisture coming from the Eastern Pacific of a system there might bring more rain to Arizona on Saturday. Sunday, still a bigger marginal risk there in Arizona, New Mexico from that moisture, and the marginal risks in the southeast because of the frontal boundary there. Day 5 next Monday, still a marginal in the Carolinas and in Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah. So be aware there. And this is okay. So today I showed you the southeast, but in the rest, a lot of rain, parts of Montana and Idaho. Not a lot, but some rain might be heavier in Montana, especially into Canada. And let's see, tomorrow still some showers there in the north and the plains, but nothing crazy. Mainly the southeast, still some heavier in Tennessee and Alabama and Georgia. Day 3 for Saturday, more in the southeast, like I showed you, already some in the northwest again. Day 4, more in Arizona for Sunday, as this moisture comes from the Bay of California. Might be a lot there in Arizona, so be aware. In parts of the northwest as well, and the system in the Carolinas. Day 5, Monday, more in the Carolinas there, might be a lot in some areas. Already more in the west there, throughout big area of the Rockies, the Great Basin, so be aware. Monday. Now Tuesday, day 6, more across Montana, Idaho, and other areas there, even the plains, so be aware. Still more on the east coast. Day 7, more across Montana, the north, kind of in the plains, Midwest, but more on the east coast still. So day 1 through 7 shows all those crazy amounts there on the east coast, shows a lot in Montana as well, and Idaho in the northwest from those systems, so be aware there. And snowfall today actually shows some hints of snow in Wyoming, parts of Montana and Idaho, so be aware. Tomorrow doesn't show anything. Day 3, day 4, day 5. Day 5 shows some 10% probabilities in parts of the west. Day 6, some more snow probabilities throughout Wyoming and Idaho, Montana again. And day 7, still some probabilities there by Wednesday, next Wednesday. So be aware, we'll keep monitoring this. So let's see some long range stuff to have some ideas what will happen. So some hazards, mainly heavy rain, the southeast and the north, and some flooding from Francine there. Day 3 through 7. Day 8 through 14, some heavy rain in Alaska. In the east coast because of that system, some high winds across the Rockies and the plains, and some heavy rain there too. Day 8 through 14, so be aware. And let's see here. Well, so the temperatures in the short term, but let's see. So today still kind of cold in the northwest there, hot in the southwest, some 100s, more 80s in the Midwest and the plains, and more 90s there in Florida. So day 2, more 100s on the southwest, some high 90s in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Some 80s in the northeast, in the Midwest, and Florida. Day 3, Saturday shows yeah, day 3 doesn't work. Like yesterday didn't work as well, but day 4 for Sunday shows more 100 in Texas, 90s in the southwest, some 80s in the Midwest still, some 90s in Florida, and 80s. Day 5 for Monday, some more 90s across Texas and the plains, and already a little bit colder across the west because of a new feature I'll show you in a second. So let's see, day 6 still kind of coldish and hot in the plains still and in the south, but day 6 minimum temperatures, that was the max temperatures. Minimum temperatures show like some 50s and low 40s in some mountains of the west there. Day 7 next Wednesday shows still coldish there and still hot in Texas, in the south, even the Midwest, so be aware there. Already showed you the winds, but let's see it again. The max wind gust today shows very windy in the plains there, in the Dakotas and Nebraska and Wyoming. So some higher gusts, occasionally upwards of 50-60 miles per hour, with the remnants of Francine there as well. So be aware. This is only for today, Thursday, valid until Friday. So be aware. And now in the longer range, it shows that trough we have on the west there, with those colder temperatures and snow probabilities we have around Montana and Idaho, and Francine there. And then, but it shows that high pressure in Canada and the northeast, bringing some warmer temperatures, drier weather there. And then let's see what will happen. This is by Friday, shows like still low pressure there from Francine, and a very powerful high pressure there in eastern Canada. So some warmer conditions there, drier conditions there, still that trough on the west there. But if we go towards like next Sunday, we start seeing another trough appearing on the west, and that will be the next system. Still shows the frontal boundary there on the southeast, and a very powerful high pressure there in Canada, so still some above average temperatures expected there. And then let's see, this is by Sunday. By Monday, we see that vigorous trough coming even further south into California there, with some colder air and more rain and maybe mountain snow, and still some warmer temperatures in the northeast because of that high pressure. So as you go along, this is still Monday, shows the big trough going in the west there. And let's see, Tuesday, still there on the west, expect some like cold, chillier temperatures like I showed you there on the forecast, some mountain snow and more rain. And then let's see, by Thursday, still the trough on the west and warmer still in the northeast, and some lower pressure still in the southeast with some storms. And then let's see, by Wednesday the 18th, still shows like some low pressures there, the northwest, and still high pressure there across Canada. So a lot of rounds of troughs on the west will leave that colder weather in those next few weeks, and the more drier, warmer weather there in the northeast because of that high pressure, and the storms in the southeast continuing with that relatively low pressure there. But this is just one model, the GFS. Let's see if maybe the European has something about this. So the European by Sunday has also the vigorous low pressure in Canada, and the trough starting to come on the west. And then let's see, this by Monday, this is it's also shows like the GFS, more bigger troughs there, some mountain snow, wind and rain, and still that drier, warmer temperatures on the northeast. So this is mainly what we will be monitoring there. So let's see if we can get some map maybe for that same day. So precipitation, this is Monday, shows still some rain in the southeast, drier across the northeast, and shows the trough there on the west. You see some areas of purple, like some hints of mountain snow there, more rain throughout there, and the colder temperatures as this other trough comes in. So be aware there of those systems and cooler temperatures and everything. And this mainly it. And this map shows like the above average, below average temperatures, shows there in Canada, the northeast, the above average temperatures from the high pressures and everything. And around Monday the 16th, we'll start getting the trough on the west, some very below average temperatures expected there, and still those above average in Canada in the northeast there. So be aware. And in terms of fire, we still have that critical all the way from New Mexico to South Dakota today in the elevated. So be careful, there are some fire weather conditions. So let's kind of see what they say. Dry and windy conditions will favor critical fire weather concerns across the Intermountain Western Plains through this evening. So be careful there not to start any fires, and be careful with any active fires. And tomorrow they still don't have any areas there. So be aware. And we have a bunch of red flag warnings there because of this. Wind advisories across the Dakotas, Montana, even California. We have some flood watches, even flood warnings, and the tornado watch there in Florida and Alabama, and wind advisories all throughout the south there because of Francine, the gusty winds. Some heat advisories in southern Florida, and winter weather advisories in the mountains there. So be aware. But this map changes all the time, so by the time you see it, it might be different. So be aware. And for Canada, we also have that the risk of stronger storms there in Saskatchewan and in Manitoba because of the system there. Today, Thursday, and let's see, Northwestern Territories, nothing. British Columbia, nothing crazy. In Ontario, does show some minor storms possible. Into Western Quebec as well. In Atlantic Canada, nothing crazy. So the main thing today is in the prairies there. So let's see the warnings. We have still some air quality advisories there because of the smoke, and let's see, especially the Northwestern Territories, air quality advisories. Saskatchewan, some air quality advisories into Alberta. So be aware. And in Newfoundland, we have some frost advisories. My minimum temperature is -1 to 2 degrees, coldest low-lying areas. Might cause some frost concerns Friday morning, so be aware there. And let's see. So the model, the European, does show more rain today for British Columbia, and especially Yukon. A lot of snow in those mountains in Alaska, so be aware there. Shows some more rain for Friday in other parts of British Columbia, and some mountain snow. And then there's that powerful system there in Montana going north towards Alberta and Saskatchewan. It shows like today those storms are right there around Saskatchewan and Alberta, some stronger storms. And let's see into central Canada better. So shows that those storms might go into Manitoba as well, but specifically strong in southern Saskatchewan and Alberta, some heavy rain there. Then this low pressure moves north by Friday and Saturday, more rainstorms from Manitoba, Saskatchewan to Nunavut there. So we'll be monitoring that. And let's see. The HER, we can kind of see as well here. So it shows like all that heavy rain there through Alberta, Montana, and it shows like those possibly severe storms today with those significant wind gusts that the Storm Prediction Center mentioned throughout eastern Montana, North Dakota there. So those storms specifically in eastern Montana might be more severe, so be careful there. Into southern Saskatchewan, some stronger storms with heavy rain as well, so be careful. And tomorrow does show a line of showers, maybe some storms throughout Manitoba, North Dakota, into Minnesota, but we'll keep monitoring. But be careful those more severe storms there today, even northern Wyoming, North Dakota, especially Montana, as it goes into Saskatchewan there, some stronger storms, so be careful. And let's see here again. Here for eastern Canada now, it shows a storm or two, some showers in Quebec like today, and in Ontario a storm or two, and especially southern Quebec. But then Friday, some rain in Newfoundland, and then let's see, kind of very quiet because of that high pressure there. But Sunday might be some more rain northern Labrador and Quebec, especially Quebec by Monday. And then some more rain there throughout the Hudson Bay, throughout Tuesday, next Wednesday, some other small systems, but nothing crazy. So be aware there. And let's see. Where's the model here? So it shows those colder temperatures across Western Canada there because of the system, especially in the mountains. Some mountains might be like -1 degrees and 1 degree, 2 degrees, but generally very cold across the west during the early morning and night. During the day might increase to 11, 15 degrees, but still cold. But shows like during the day in Ontario, Manitoba, might be warmer there, 26, 27 degrees. Then as you continue, the high pressure kind of moves further east, but still with some warmer temperatures in the prairies there, especially like southern Saskatchewan and Manitoba, some 28 degrees on Sunday. And then let's see, but like during the night and early morning, does show some colder temperatures in northern Quebec and Labrador, so be aware. And let's see Newfoundland too. And generally across the whole northwestern Canada shows some very cold temperatures there during the night and during the day too, but especially during the night across Alaska as well, so be aware. And then that high pressure continues there, especially across Ontario and Quebec. You can see those warmer temperatures, like 29 degrees during the day, so be aware. But nothing crazy, it will be nice. So wind gusts shows some stronger winds there in the US, like I showed you in the plains, those very gusty winds. Then into Canada mainly, southern Saskatchewan on Saturday shows some gusty winds, into Nunavut there by Sunday some gusty winds. And let's see, but nothing big later. But we are monitoring potential another system next week, because this next Thursday, as you can see, there's a powerful low pressure in Montana there next Thursday the 19th, so that's potentially another thing to watch. The European is showing it, and the GFS is kind of a different timing, but it might show too, but mostly the European is showing, so we'll keep monitoring for that other system as well. And maybe like Monday through Sunday, some gusty winds for Nunavut and maybe northern Quebec there and Labrador, especially with those systems on the Pacific in Alaska, shows some very gusty winds like next Tuesday, Wednesday, and other times. So be careful there. And this mainly it. So stay safe there from everything, flooding, francine, winds, and everything. And bye.